Our list of the top 25 players on the NHL season is now out. A reminder, the rankings are only based on what players did this season. And guys, this list is a consensus. That's important. We had 12 of our hockey experts on the selection panel trying to come together. And whenever you try to draw a consensus, you're going to have some disagreements. And there were some guys we didn't agree on. So let's focus on some of the most contentious rankings and oversights. Let's start with you, Craig. When you look at the consensus list and you compare it to your individual ballot, the biggest spot I see a big difference is in Nick Suzuki, who on the consensus list was number 14. You didn't like that at all.
No, and I'm going to be taking names of the other people on this list that were participants. Anyway, Nick Suzuki's had a brilliant season. I had number 6. I think he's been brilliant this year. I think everything he's done, I think you can make a case for him being in the MVP conversation. You can make a case for him being in the Selke Trophy conversation. Everything in Montreal.
Mr. OT winner on the year.
Well, everything revolves around Nick Suzuki in Montreal. He is the guy that stirs the drink. And to me, you're looking at one of those seasons. We talked earlier about McDavid setting a high bar for himself. Well, what Nick Suzuki did was raise that bar. And I thought he was brilliant. Number 6 for me.
Somebody you thought was vastly underappreciated was Zach Werenski. As a consensus, we had him at number 20. You actually had him in the top 10 at number 9.
I had Zach Werenski at number 9. Like, think about what this guy did for the Columbus Blue Jackets this year. So close to getting into the playoffs. Yeah. Zach Werenski led all skaters in time on ice per game. And so many times we have conversations about, well, who's your guy? Like, who's your Draisaitl to McDavid? Who's your Marner to Matthews? Who was Zach Werenski's guy in Columbus this year? They picked up Dante Fabro on waivers, put him with Zach Werenski. Zach Werenski made that pair look great, and he made that team look great. Zach Werenski's impact on the Columbus Blue Jackets was massive. This was a huge season for him.
Was it his style that didn't draw the attention or the market? Is that where was the misconnect?
I think you just weren't paying attention. Like, if you didn't have Zach Werenski that high on the list, you just weren't paying attention, because I think in the grand scheme of the defensemen in the NHL this season, Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes, Zach Werenski, any way you slice it, those are your top 3 guys, and then you can have conversations afterwards about who falls in line.
We had them in that order, but Werenski was just a big gap between himself and Hughes. Okay, so you guys weren't happy with where Werenski and Suzuki got ranked, but you both also think there were a couple of guys who were complete oversights on our list. Guys that you think should have been in the top 25 that did not even make the cut. Frankie, let's start with you. You like the big guy in Tampa at number 16.
I love Victor Hedman, and I had him at number 16 on my list. And this is just another year for Victor Hedman. Like, there's nothing flashy about it. There's no big splash with Victor Hedman. But what happened was the Tampa Bay Lightning, they're for real again. And Victor Hedman was for real, like he is every season. And a lot of this year, like, he was supposed to have a new D partner. J.J. Moser comes over from Arizona/Utah. He was gone for, like, a couple months this year. And Victor Hedman, all he did was log big minutes, create chances, do a great job on the power play, everything that he usually does. And we just talked about the top 3 defensemen in the NHL this year. You could have conversations as far as who falls in line afterwards. I think it's a conversation around Hedman, Morrissey, Dahlin. There's a few other guys, but Victor Hedman deserves to be a top 25 player in the NHL.
Okay, that might have been a miss, but by far, the biggest miss, absolutely, in my mind, I had this guy at number 12. You had him at number 10, Darcy Kuemper. How was Darcy Kuemper not in the top 25?
So the first thing is you're going to have to go get names because you're so adamant about Darcy.
I can't believe this.
I'm going to jump
it's brutal.
I'm going to jump what Frankie just said about not paying attention. Well, here's the problem. The LA Kings play in the Western time zone. Most people in the East go to bed at 10 o'clock Eastern time, just when they're getting ready to start playing. So if you're not staying
I live out here. I know what he did.
Well, that's good. Let's put if you don't have Darcy Kuemper in your top 25, that's an indictment. That's an indictment because Darcy Kuemper was one of the best players in the NHL this year. After Hellebuck, he had the second best statistical, everything you want on a top defensive team.
There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that Kuemper was by far the biggest oversight. For the record, since January the 1st, nobody, not even Connor Hellebuck, as you were talking about, had a better goals against or save percentage than Darcy Kuemper. I'm not just a goalie hugger, guys. That is just simply pure factual information. By the way, you can check out TSN's YouTube page as well as tsn.ca for plenty more on the Top 25 Players Project.